What is going on, boys and girls of YouTube? So, I haven't really covered any Reddit stuff in a while. You know, Smite kind of getting back on track, and then, you know, things happen, this happens. There's always something that eventually happens, right? So, context. Smite 2 is in a heavy tank meta. Low-level players can't process it because in their games, it doesn't exist because people don't know how to build and exploit things correctly because they just aren't good enough or just don't have the information. Normal, right? Like it's to be expected. It's not a big deal. However, when you get up into the parts of the game where people actually know how to play the game, it is a full-blown tank meta, and people don't understand that people got the quotations tank meta. Tank meta exists when a tank-based character, usually warriors and guardians, can build full defense and out-damage a carry in a pure fight. And not only out-damage them, but out-damage them in a faster rate. So a tank, realistically, should kill a carry if they manage to have a prolonged fight, right? Like an extended fight should go in a tank's favor because the tank has the ability to sustain through HP, defense, and HP 5 or HP 1, whatever, Smite 2. Flip side, if the mage is able to kite the warrior or avoid things or CC and move around and get peel, the mage or the hunter should be able to kill the hunter. Or sorry, the tank. The mage, the hunter should be able to kill the tank. That's not the case. We are in a situation where tanks can burst down squishies, okay? And it shouldn't be a contextual thing. A tank should never be able to 100-0 a squishy in 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds, right? Like, that is normal. Smite's big quote that they've had since the beginning of Smite 1 is, this game's different, tanks do damage, and they want tanks to do damage. Now, the idea of balancing that has been a huge struggling point. Now we're gonna get into what really made me make this video. I'm looking at Reddit. Actually, someone told me to check this out, but yeah, looking at Reddit, there's a post 3 hours ago. No tank meta, by the way. Tank meta on Reddit means their team had one player using a CC button. So the low-level players don't process what the tank meta is. If you read through it, it's basically like, well, people don't build pen, people don't build this. Now, the reason I felt the need to make a video is because eventually you get in here, but Weekend said he can't climb in ranked. Bro, I am at a 60% win rate, actually higher than 60% win rate, and I'm 5K rating, and I very rarely play ranked. I can climb ranked easy, so I don't know why people make up random stuff. Without two-shotting tanks with this full CDR build, all of my builds have 30 to 50% pen. Some have a little bit more. Depends on what you're playing. Like if there are no tanks, you don't have to build as much percent pen. So I don't know where this came from. Like all my builds have pen in it, always have, because tanks have been good even before they were completely OP. If you don't have a god, and then he just goes on talking about like my custom games and like to invite people. I don't invite people. You guys know that if you watch. I just throw up, literally in my stream, I throw up a lobby, say, hey, join, first come, first serve. So yeah, then they go on to just keep basically telling themselves they're right. You get towards the bottom, you have people who actually know what they're talking about. Now, I want to make this for the Reddit kids, okay? This is for you guys. This isn't even for just my viewers. If you don't believe there's a tank meta or don't understand what the tank meta is, it is because you are bad. You making posts pretending you know what's going on as a sub, I'll be nice and say diamond player. Realistically, if you're not up there in Obsidian, you're not a good player, and that's fine. If I don't hit that similar rank in other games, I am bad at other games. I've had to explain this to some people lately. I think that's where you're good, because that's where you're not, good is lower end good, not really good. You're good, right? And then the next rank up, you're getting to the point where you're really good. And then if you're the top of ranked, you're the top 100 players, whatever, 500 players in a bigger game, you're great, right? Then you have minor league players, which shit on those great players. What are they? Then you have pros, which are miles above the minor league players, okay? So your level of skill in the game you need to adjust your mind, because you as Redditors seem to just think you are way better than you are sitting in your gold, plat, diamond ranks. Those ranks aren't good, okay? They're not good at all. Just keep in mind, you are not good. You are average when you're sitting in plat. Average at best. That's being nice. You're not good, okay? That's why you aren't experiencing a real tank meta. You don't play against players who can hit their abilities, let alone build correctly, right? If you're one of those players that think you can come up with your own build, you also fall into this. And I'm really realize this is going to piss some people off because the realization is hurting. I get it, okay? Now, you're probably like, Weekend, what do you mean? You've got no proof. All right, I wanted to pull up proof for you guys. So, This wasn't a match when I was playing on CERN around when Blink started to be changed, okay? I actually had a dev in my stream, and he couldn't believe what happened, and he actually went in and looked and was trying to figure out why it was like this. This was also when Sunder was buffed. If you don't know what Sunder is basically Old Hog. Sunder does 455 damage to a god at level 20. That is more than almost any ability in the game, okay? So you have a 5th ability with Sunder, okay? Just process that, right? So I'm playing CERN, all right? I am playing Hybrid CERN. I have 2 defense items. I have Berserkers and I have Pharaohs. I have Executioner. I go into Pen Stance. Pen Stance on CERN gives you 25% pen. So I have 49% pen once I have 3 autos, okay? Process that. I have 2 defense items. I have Kins, Braggies, Sunbeam Bow. Tons of yellow damage. I have the updated attack speed jungle starter, all right? This is a tank Mulan, okay? So just before we even get into it, I really want to show you guys the item. There we go. Okay, so now that I've got this figured out, here are the items that were built by their tanks, okay? So their Mulan has Glad Shield, Pridwin, New Rune Forge, anti-heal tank item, Stone of Binding, and I believe, I know the last item was a defense item. I'm not 100% sure which it was. I'm gonna be honest. Oh, I think it was, I know what it was. It was the reflecting defense item. I don't know why I can't think of the item. The item that reflects, it's a physical defense item that reflects auto attack damage. Then their support, Bacchus, had Runeforge, Mystical Mail, Pridwin, Anchile, Mantle, and I think he also had Hide of the Nemean. That's the item. Hide of the Nemean, the one that reflects auto attack damage. Okay, so that's the context, right? So there's the items of what I'm playing against in this clip right here, okay? So look, that's the tank Mulan, right? I'm at full HP. I am in pen stance. So once I have 3 autos, he will be 49% penned, okay? And I'm slowing this down. Just want to make sure you understand, this is his ult, by the way. He opens with his ult. It hits me for 500. So the first part of his ult, of his 3-part ult, hits me for 500 with that full defense build, okay? So make sure we're following that, right? I dash him. So before I even get to him, I have taken 1,000 damage from his ult. 1,000 damage from Mulan's ultimate with a full tank build, okay? He's got Pridwin, all that other cool stuff, right? So that's cool. That's fun. That's fun, right? So he has Hide of the Nemean pop, so I'm reflecting some damage. And keep in mind, there's 2 eld bars here. I have the Fire Giant dagger. That's why this is insane. So, I know he has 1-3 Kpot, but I am out farming everybody on my team. So I'm about as close to him as I could possibly be at this point. Just remember though, this is a tank. I have taken 1,600 damage in like 3 seconds, 4 seconds tops, right? 5, maybe 5. Okay, so the Bacchus shows up. I use my dagger. All right, watch this, okay? I am going to be coming out of this at 37 seconds, full HP. Mulan has already ulted me. This is 2 tanks hitting me. 2 tanks have me to 400 HP in 1 second, all right? Look at the Mulan's HP. I have done 0 damage to this guy. Remember, I come out of this with Fire Giant Dagger buff. I am as buffed as possible, and he has as much pen on him as possible. I am autoing him for 66 white damage, and they kill me and they blow me up and insta kill me in 1 second. Which is you're like, oh, ha, funny, right? Okay. Let me see if I get to the point where I show the damage. Do I not show the damage? Surely I show the damage. I think I show. I have to show the damage. Please tell me I show the damage. Oh yeah, there you go. I took 660 damage from his auto attacks. Remember, he has no strength except for Runeforge. I took 600 damage from Hide of the Nemean. I took 550 damage from his ultimate. I took 450 damage from Bacchus's Mystical Mail. I saw a post in the Reddit post that was like, what is the tank gonna sit on you for 20 seconds to kill you? Brother, 404, this is an ability worth of damage. That Bacchus was on me for 3 seconds total. The Bacchus was even there the whole fight. Sundering Arc, 435 from Mulan. Sundering Axe, 400 damage from Mulan. Remember, Mulan doesn't have Mystical Mail. If he had Mystical Mail, I would have taken even more than 400 damage from him. Bacchus autos me for 318, ults me for 264. Bacchus ult hit for half of what his Mystical Mail did, half of what Sundering Arc does. He also did Sundering Arc me. It's not showing on here. So the Bacchus hits me for 435 with Sundering Arc. The Mulan 260, lower than all the items and abilities in the game. Glad Shield 222. Someone said Glad Shield is for 60. It's each ability. You absolute troll, Reddit bot. So 2 tanks did 4,100 damage to me. That fast. That fast. Just for a reference, we need to go to the other side. My Kins did 329 to Bacchus, less than his Mystical Mail. My Braggy's Harp did 425 to Mulan, less than his Sundering Arc, barely more than his Sundering Axe. My Kins, which was on the Mulan for like 15, no, more than that, because it was like 23 autos or something, only did 600 damage, barely out damaging his Hide of the Nemean. This is supposed to be the anti-tank item in the game. All right, so like, oh, weekend. Well, this is a weekend circumstance, right? Okay, well, let's go ahead and teach you that you're not the brightest, right? So this is the tournament that just happened tonight. All right, if you look at the builds, there are 4 Mystical Mails in this tournament that happened tonight. These are some of the best players that still play the game, by the way. Like a bunch of ex-pros and the best players that still play the game. The other side also has 4 tanks and hybrid builds. The ADC is Vulcan with a tank build. Okay, let me jump back here a second. The ADC is Vulcan with a Mystical Mail, Pridwin, Glad Shield, Mantle. That is the ADC. The mid laner is a Merlin with a Phoenix, Gem of ISO, physical items, by the way. Someone told me I was dumb for building Bluestone on Merlin. This is one of probably the best mid laner that still plays the game outside of Paul. And that's his build. Just process. The jungler is Mystical Mail, Avenging Blade, Pridwin, defense. The other jungler, a tank auto attack item, Mystical Mail, Pridwin, Kins, Onis, defense, into another defense item. So you're telling me the tank meta doesn't exist, but 8 of the 10 best players in a tournament built tank for fun? All right, and you're like, well, conquest. Okay, let's go to the $3,000 finals that just happened for a Joust tournament. Oh, look at that. 3 gauntlets, tank items, by the way. Mystical Mail, Breastplate, Mystical Mail. Then we have Pridwin. We have Stampede Pridwin. We have another Pridwin. We have 2 Kins. We have a Shogun's. Oh, what about the other team? Maybe it's just one team. The other team, Mystical Mail, Pridwin, Thebes, Mystical Mail, Anti-Heal, Pridwin, Spectral, Stone of Binding. And guess what? Tanks win the games. Nobody's doing this for fun. Okay? So that's, I don't know what more proof you want at this point, but you cannot be bad at something and then form an opinion of how good something is or what meta we're in if you can't play the game in a way that uses the tools in front of you correctly. All right? We are in possibly the most boring tank meta that Hi-Rez has ever created. We've seen tank metas on and off, right? Even if you go play Smite 1 right now, mages do tons of damage, which they don't do in Smite 2, and tanks take 0 damage. Like, even less than Smite 2. They take less damage than they do in Smite 2. However, they don't do as much as they do in Smite 2. They haven't managed to balance Smite 2 yet, which is why we're getting a patch tomorrow, which nukes everybody. It nukes strength, int, attack speed, defense. It nukes bunch of passives, bunch of god passive with stats, all getting nuked tomorrow. And it's to do a hard reset. 2 weeks from tomorrow, we are gonna, well, this video might go out the day after, I don't know. The patch that's on the 7th, I think the 7th, yeah. The next patch after the 7th, that will buff and change items to be more unique and more build based. So every build isn't the exact same, which is their goal apparently. We'll see if it works. So more than likely, we are going to be an even worse tank meta for the next 2 weeks. Now, if you're a Reddit boy, you got to get a break away from that. If you're one of the Redditors that ever watches this or this ends up on Reddit, which I probably will, it's fine. You need to stop, please, forming opinions based on the experience you have in lower end games. First of all, you will never get better that way. Second of all, you will never process the game that way. Third of all, you will forever keep yourself at a much lower skill level than you should be. Smite, oddly enough, is not the craziest mechanical game, even though it's more mechanical than top-down MOBAs. You have more aiming and everything, right? It's still not that crazy. If you know how to build and you know how to position and you know where you're supposed to be and when you're supposed to be there, you can miss abilities and still win tons and tons and tons of games. And they made abilities really easy to hit in Smite 2. So please stop following along with the e-brain people on Reddit. It's ridiculous that you can't see the game that's happening around you and you just ignore it and pretend everyone else is wrong. It is a wild way to view the world. So hopefully this opens some of your all's eyes to this. I'm hoping the tank meta is gone in 2 weeks, because if it's not, I don't know what's going to happen, because at high end, the game is unplayable. It is not fun at all whatsoever to play the game currently. not dooming the game. I'm excited for 2 weeks from now when the items get we get these crazy new builds. Apparently, I just know 2 weeks it's gonna suck, and I'm hoping they actually hit with that patch. So hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed. I will see you guys in the video tomorrow, the next video, all the videos, and we'll get back to recording content once we get through this bad tank time. I don't know what to call it. I don't know.